Hi boys and girls, I'm going to introduce you to Thunder and Snowdrop, and those were the names chosen on our whole school challenge last week. You'll meet them soon when we are back in Ash class. So today they're going to be listening to a book that I wanted to share with you this week. We are doing all about bees, and it's not a storybook that I'm going to share with you, it is a non-fiction book. And a non-fiction book is a book that is about real things, so it's not a story, it's a factual book, an information book. So with the help of my little boy Ewan and his wonderful editing skills, don't worry if you can't see the pictures, because he's going to try and upload them in some fancy way. So let's go. What is a bee? A bee is a type of insect. Insects have wings and 6 legs. There are many types of bee. Honeybees visit flowers to collect their sweet nectar and pollen. They use the nectar to make honey. Bees are really important insects. They help plants to grow seeds and fruit. Many bees live together in one home. Their home is called a hive, that's right. There is one queen bee, only one, and she lays all the eggs. When an egg hatches, a larva comes out. A larva grows into an adult bee. It is called a pupa. The story of how an egg grows into an adult bee is called a life cycle. And in Ash class we've talked a lot about different life cycles, haven't we? The life cycle of a hen, of a frog. So now we're looking at the bee. In the hive. Many thousands of bees can live in one hive. The queen lays all the eggs in a hive. She can lay thousands of eggs in her lifetime. Most bees in a hive are called worker bees. They are all female, so they are all girls. Worker bees look after the hive and the eggs, and they collect the food, so they're very busy. Worker bees build honeycomb inside the hive. It is made of wax, and it is full of holes that are called cells. This is where the eggs and honey are stored. Drone bees are the male bees, the boy bees. They have fatter bodies than worker bees. Laying the eggs. In spring, the queen lays her eggs, and the drones fertilise the eggs. The worker bees have built wax cells for the eggs. The queen bee lays each egg in a cell. 3 days later, each egg hatches into a tiny white larva. The queen bee can lay hundreds of eggs every single day. Growing and eating. The worker bees feed the larvae with pollen and nectar. The larvae grow bigger. Soon they are ready to change into adult bees. The larvae are still feeding inside their cells. And after the feeding, the workers put a cap on top of every single cell to close it, a little bit like a lid. Inside each closed cell, the larvae changes, and it changes into an adult bee. A bee is called a pupa while it makes this change. Busy bees. Most of the new bees are worker bees, and they have very busy lives. Worker bees collect pollen and nectar from the flowers. Yellow pollen is collected in pollen baskets. The bees take it back to the hive. Worker bees use the nectar to make honey in the honeycomb. How bees live. Some bees live in the wild. Other bees live in special hives. Wild bees build nests in trees, roofs or walls of buildings. Beekeepers build hives for their bees. They collect the honey and the wax that the bees have made. We eat the honey. We use beeswax in makeup, food, candles and shoe polish. A new queen. A hive may become too small for all the bees that live in it. When this happens, it is time to make a new hive, a new home. The queen bee leads the bees out of the old hive and they fly to a new place to build a new hive. In the old hive, the larvae have grown into adults and a new queen leaves her cell. She takes over the old hive and the life cycle begins again. So I hope you really enjoyed that book. There's lots of information in there, so chat to your mums or dads about what you've just heard and read, and we look forward to seeing you again for another story or another book. Take care. Bye.